Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome back to school today on Tuesday, April 14th. Today is a B day, so I hope you had a great vacation. I had a really nice break. I spent a ton of time outside yesterday, not so much because it was really windy and all that good stuff, but I spent a ton of time outside and I did all sorts of projects. I'm like repainting the house and I'm like building porch furniture, like Adirondack chairs and stuff like that. And I'm just having a really good time with that. I'm also getting fit with my Peloton, and so that's good, and like running and stuff like that. So it's good. Anyway, hope you had a nice time. Just remember, it's really important to make sure that you get outside, get some fresh air, enjoy the outside. Studies show that the outdoors really does have a positive effect on your well-being, on your emotional well-being, and also getting out in the sunshine can give you some vitamin D, and vitamin D is really good for your immune system and boost your mood. So definitely make sure all you really need for vitamin D is to have your face and your hands exposed to the sun for 20 minutes in one day, and that can really make a difference. So obviously, don't get a sunburn, but I mean, you can see I got a little bit of sun on my cheeks from yesterday, and it wasn't even sunny from Saturday, and it wasn't even sunny really. Anyway, so today what we're doing, we're finishing up our sketching technique. So you're going to want to get that packet that you were working on last week. Last week, you will not need the graph paper that you had until you have to turn it in. So what you're going to do is, and you guys have been doing a great job with that. It's a lot of work to like take a picture and figure out how to turn it in. And you guys have been doing really good stuff with that. So congratulations on handling this. I didn't have to use technology to this degree until I was in college. So good for you for handling this really well. Congratulations. If you need help, obviously, drop into my Google Hangout. That's what I'm here for. I would love to help you. I can share my screen with you. You can share your screen with me so I can tell you what to press and what to click, all that good stuff. I'm dying to help you. So I love it when kids drop into my Hangout and ask questions so I can help. It's not as helpful to ask your questions later in the day via email because I can't show you how to do anything. All I can do is really tell you what I can tell you via text and then invite you to see my Hangout on the next day, which kind of like is lost time. Anyway, okay, so we're going to skip all the way to the end, and we've got this thing called the alphabet of lines. So what the heck does that mean? Okay. So you've probably noticed on some examples of, I'll just do a quick search for orthographic multi-view. And if I pull up any sketch here, you can see that there's different types of lines. So if I am looking at this, like there's some dotted lines, there's solid lines, there's lines with oh, that doesn't get bigger that's really funny. There's lines with little arrows on them. If you have something with a circular opening, let's take a look at this. You can see there's like these crosshairs here. There's dotted lines here. There's this line that goes through the center that's kind of like solid and then dotted as well. So it gets a little bit confusing when you see, and then even on this drawing, you see these like lighter colored lines. Like, what are those? So engineers use all these different kinds of lines to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the drawing because they can't be there with you. They can just have this drawing, and all engineers know how to read drawings and they know what each type of dotted line means. So alphabet of lines. So you can copy this down on your packet. I actually think there's a section at the end of the packet after the red text that says stop there for last week. There's a label each type of line. So you can actually, you don't have to draw it, you can just label those lines. The first type of line is a really light line. It might even be a line that's been erased. And we've used those lines before. With a skimmer, when we were drawing those margin lines for the main body panel, we drew a straight line and then we erased some parts of it to make a dotted line, or we drew the fin with a 3-inch margin and then we erase those lines. So we can make really faint lines, but we can also erase a heavier line. And those construction lines just help us to make something else. Like that construction line on the skimmer helped us to make a 3-inch fin. There's also a really dark solid line. So it's also important for you when you're doing sketching by hand, just be aware, is this line a line you're going to need to keep? Is it the outer edge of the actual object I'm trying to draw? If so, we want to make it nice and heavy and dark and use a ruler if it's a straight line, or a compass if it's a circle, or trace a circular object if it's a circle. With construction lines, you don't want to use heavy pressure because you're going to have to erase it. And better yet, you make a light line to begin with, and then you really don't have to erase much and it almost disappears. Next type of line is a hidden line. A hidden line is a little bit tricky to understand. A hidden line is just an object line that is not visible from the point of view of the orthographic multi-view drawing, okay? So let's say, and I'll show you some examples of those in a minute. And I'm just going to tell you what they are right now. And then that long dash dot line. So hidden lines are just dotted or dashed, whatever you want to call it. I call center lines dashed because you've got this dash dot. Hidden lines are dotted. And so it's just an easy way. And center lines show you the exact center of a hole. Sometimes, depending on the way you're looking at a hole, sometimes you'll look at it like this and it looks round, and sometimes you look at it from the other way and you can't even see it, but you can mark the center. And remember, the orthographic multi-view drawings are made for manufacturers. They're technical drawings, so we know exactly what size, dimension, things like that we can use to actually build something or make something. So we're going to talk about the alphabet of lines, so I'm going to explain all those things and show you some examples of those. Sorry if I'm bouncing around a little bit. Remember, I have a yoga ball here instead of a chair. Okay, so this thing that we have on the screen is called a widget. I call it a widget because it's not an actual thing. It doesn't actually have a use, except that it's a really good example because it's got all the things I want to show you on it. So it's like this make-believe item, and I like to call it a widget. It's also a really cute word. Say it yourself, widget. Anyway, okay, so alphabet of lines, and we're going to do the alphabet of lines on this object. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to look at the top view. So top view, so we're looking at this. So this is the isometric view of this widget, and we're going to look at it in an orthographic projection, and we're going to look at it from the top. So if you see the red line, the red arrow over here is the top view. So we're kind of hovering over it like we're a bird and looking down. So you'll notice here you have a hole, and then there's this channel here and a bull nose. So you can't, when you're looking at it from the top, you can't actually see the hole, but you can see the hidden lines, the edges of the hole here, and you can see the center line here. So what I'm going to do, okay, so that's an object line right there. So all those dark, heavy, solid lines are object lines. The dotted lines are hidden lines. So they show the edge of the hole here, the edges of the hole, the diameter of the hole. Okay, and then the dashed line in the center of the hole shows you the exact precise center of the hole. And this would be useful in like placing the center of a drill bit if you went into the shop. Okay, so we're going to look at the same object, the same widget from the front view. I'm just waiting for my little toolbar to go away. Okay, so that red arrow is showing us we're looking at it from the front. This is the front view. Okay, we're going to talk about how we choose front and top view and things like that. And you can see here, there's some extension line. There's some construction lines here. You can see I drew an angle here and I drew down like that. And then I erased those lines a little bit. I actually used that method that we use to draw the really wacky method to draw approximate circle in this box here to draw this circle, and then I've got a plus sign here It's actually, it looks like a plus sign, but what it really is a dashed line, and the dashes, the dots of the dashed line actually cross in the center, and they give you that crosshair. Okay, so there's another object line there. There's a center line. Okay, those are both center lines. There are two different center lines on that hole. Okay, and then we're going to have the right view. Now I want you to see if you can give me an example of it. Just point at the screen for yourself and show me where there might be an object line, and show me where there might be, so show me where there might be an object line. And then point to something that might be a hidden line. And then try to identify, remember this is from the right, we're looking at it from the right, so this box is on the right-hand side. And where would be the center of that hole? Where's the center line? Just point to it with your finger. Great. Okay, so there's an object line. There's lots of object lines in this. There's a hidden line there. There's a center line. There's lots of other hidden lines as well, as in here and here. Okay, so there's our isometric view. What's amazing is this isometric view is actually done by hand, and we're going to learn how to do those isometric views by hand of various little widgets, and it's not as hard as it seems. They actually did this isometric view on grid paper, which is crazy. I can do an isometric view really well on isometric paper, which is a special kind of graph paper, which I'll get to you when we need to use it. Okay, so we have our object line, construction line. You can see where those those lines were erased. Okay, and notice they were able to make, this is an isometric, and so that hole's not going to be perfectly circular. It looks sort of like an oval, and they use that to make those construction lines to help them make that. Okay, that's it for today. So what I want you to do is I just want you to answer the two questions on the bottom of the sketching techniques document. Okay, why is it important that you learn how to sketch, and why is it important to use proper line types? You're going to answer that question in, oh, sorry, yeah, you need to do the label the line types shown in the drawing below. And what I will do is I'll put these four questions, 5, 6, and the conclusions 1 and 2 in a document for you, and you can just answer those on digitally. You don't have to take a picture of anything, and then just turn that document in. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a great day.